I wanted to do a quick non-scientific accuracy test of some of the less expensive 5.56 and 2.23 rounds available. I did a quick zero at 50 yards with my stock Smith & Wesson M&P 15 Sport 2 using a Vortex Viper PST 1:4 MOA scope. And I had a bipod and a rear bag to minimize shooter error as much as possible. So preemptively, if you want to skip the details, I found the PMC X-TAC 62 grain to be the most consistent brass non-match for the price range through my rifle. I initially zeroed with the ZQI SS 109 62 grain at a visit to the range before I started doing any testing. For the test, I did sets of 4 shots with around 10 seconds to realign and get back on dead center. Reloads between different ammo types also added time between shots. The ZQI SS 109 ammo was my first set. For some reason, it tends to be extremely accurate for the first few rounds and then opens up pretty wide on the groups. I've noticed this almost every time I shoot it. It may be due to the barrel heating up, but I'd rely on other people more educated than myself to comment on how that may affect ballistics. It's just something I've seen happen every time with the round in my particular gun. The first ZQI group was half an inch, so right at 1 MOA at 50 yards. The first 3 shots were basically on top of each other, but the fourth opened the group up. By the second set, it opened up to 1 3/4 inch. On the second range visit, I shot a 3/4 inch group and had a flyer that opened up the group to 2.75 inches. This may have been shooter error, but it was way off the rest of the group and skewed the ZQI's overall average to 1.58 inches. I then went to the PMC X-TAC 62 grain steel core. In my opinion, for my rifle, at the lower end of the price range, this ammo performed the most consistently. It didn't shoot the best groups, but was consistently decent. Out of 5 sets over 2 visits to the range, it averaged a group of 0.93 inches, so just under 2 MOA. I also had 6 rounds of PMC 223 Bronze, 55 grain left over, and did 2 3-round sets with that. It performed well coming in at 0.85 inches average group, but I'd need to get some more to test it like I did the other rounds. I then tried the PPU M193 55 grain. It seemed to perform pretty well, averaging 1.24 inches with 5 sets shot over 2 range visits. It, like the ZQI, seemed to open up a bit with each shot, but not as much as the ZQI did. Overall, I'd go with this after the PMC X-TAC based on what I shot. The PPU M855 green tips did not like my gun at all and shot the worst out of any of the ammo I tried. Average was a 1.65 inch group. The Federal American Eagle was pretty middle of the road and unexceptional in my rifle. I only had it to test on my second range visit, but it was shooting about 2.5 MOA. I've shot a lot of this ammo and it works okay in my rifle, but it's not the best either. I usually like Federal stuff a lot, so I'd like to see how the Gold Medal Match 223 would do. I use Gold Medal Match for my Tikka 308, which loves that ammo. I was also able to pick up some BBM 5.56 55 grade at my local Dick's Sporting Goods. It was a bit more expensive because I usually get stuff from Outdoor Limited ordered online. They just seem to have really great prices for when I'm stocking up on ammo and they have quick delivery. But the BBM looked interesting, so I picked it up. It performed unremarkably at about 3 MOA. I always shot it pretty far into the barrel being heated up though, so I'm not sure if that had much effect. I also saw some Norma Tac-223, which is touted as being match quality like FMJ. It was the first ammo I shot on my second range trip. Both of the first two sets were 0.85 inch groups. When I came back to test it again, the group opened up to 1.65 inches. Seems like a decent round, but with my limited experience, not really what I'd call match quality. However, if you're paying 35 cents a round, it's probably not a bad option for brass. Just for fun, I also tried some Fiocchi Exacta Match 223 69 grain. It was the second to last ammo I tested and shot an average group of 0.71 inches. I'm guessing that for my rifle with the 1 in 9 twist, 69 grains is getting on the heavy side. Decent groups and consistent, but at about 80 cents a round with the Sierra BTHP bullets. It's somewhat inexpensive for match quality ammo though, but it's expensive. The last cartridge I tested was the Hornady Steel Match 223 55 grain. It was the most accurate ammo I tried with an average of 0.69 inch groups. If you don't mind running steel, I got a 50 round box through Outdoor Limited for I think 35 cents a round. With a good shooter and a cleanish, not blazing hot gun, I'd imagine that this could very easily be a sub MOA round. I'm not sure how clean their steel is, but the Hornady stuff seems to be of very high quality. I would highly suggest it if you want something inexpensive for that type of accuracy that you get. So, as a disclaimer, this was meant to be a fun test and once again, not particularly scientific. It was sunny and very clear the first visit to the range and rainy and dark on the second visit. This may have, in a minor way, affected the results, as I felt I could not see as well as I did the first visit. I have 20/10 vision, but at 4 times magnification max, I can't say lack of target visibility might not have played a role in some of my results. Like if I was using a higher magnification scope. There was no substantial wind either day. Now, barrel heat seemed to be a huge factor in this test for almost all of the different types of ammunition. Once again, though, I'd defer to others more educated than myself, but that was my experience. I think the M&P can likely be a sub MOA gun at 50 yards anyway, based on my experience with my particular rifle. If it's paired with the right ammo, I know each gun is like a snowflake, and this is just what I saw in mine. Hopefully, it will be helpful to other owners of the M&P 15 Sport 2, since I think there are a lot of us out there. Thanks, and if you have any questions or suggestions, please comment below.